Just ahead on CTV News, round 2 of Old Man Winter is coming.
We've got more winter weather coming our way tomorrow, what you can expect and how you can prepare, coming up on CTV News.
Plus, tips on how to winterize your home.
If you have pipes in your home in an unheated space, consider getting some insulation just to keep those pipes warm.
And thieves target a local car dealership.
The owner of a small car dealership says several of his high-end vehicles were stolen earlier this week. Coming up on CTV News, we speak to the owner about how the thieves got away with so many cars. Stay tuned.
Those stories and more up next.
Good evening, I'm Taylor Thomas with a CTV News update. If Monday wasn't enough winter weather for you, get ready for another round. CTV's Mariah Jalad is out with the forecast. What can we expect, Mariah?
So Taylor, I hope you haven't put away that snow shovel yet because we're in store for another snowfall tomorrow. Forecasters predict 1 to 4 inches of snow across the region, and that's going to have a high impact on area roads all day Friday and going into Saturday. The snow is expected to start in the early morning and continue throughout the day until 8 p.m. Some parts of Maryland could even see more than 8 inches of snow, and that's on top of what's still here from Monday's storm. Cold temps on Saturday could cause another hard freeze, and that's really going to make driving conditions difficult to end off this week. Look out for any school delays coming, and keep in mind there's a $100 fine for not clearing roads and sidewalks 48 hours after the snow. From Largo, Mariah Jalad, CTV News.
Meantime, as the region deals with freezing temperatures this week, there's a growing concern on how to help homeowners protect their property. WSSC Water Public Information Officer Lynn Riggins says there's one thing homeowners should do now.
Locate and operate your main water shutoff valve. It could be located in your basement, utility room, under some steps. Find it and make sure it works before you need it, because if a pipe in your home breaks, the first thing you're going to want to do is shut off the water to minimize damage.
WSSC Water also recommends that if we have an extended period of frosty weather, you should run your faucets at a trickle to keep the pipes warm. It's also important to note if the pipes in your home burst, you need to call a plumber. However, if you see water in the streets, that's when you should call WSSC Water. A local small car dealership had the unthinkable happen earlier this week. Several high-end vehicles like Mercedes, Range Rovers, Audis, among others, were all stolen from the Harb Motor lot in Suitland. CTV's Katara Jones spoke with the owner about the theft at his business.
I'm here at Harb Motors in Suitland with the owner, John Harb, who's going to talk a little bit about how his business was broken into earlier this week. Can you talk a little bit about how you found out that your business, this car dealership, was broken into?
Yes, I mean, in the beginning, we were checking the cameras at night, and we didn't get connected to the cameras. So we thought that there is a power outage or something because it was a snowy night. But in the morning at 7 o'clock in the morning, one of my employees was passing by here outside, and he called me. He told me that the gate is open at 7 o'clock, and since I cannot log to the camera, I knew that there's something happened.
And your employees called you 7 in the morning on Tuesday?
My employees in the shop, not in the dealership. Yes, it's next door.
Mm-hmm. And at that point, once you got the call, what was the first thing you had to do?
Well, I rushed here. I came here very quick, and we found that a couple windows are broken. We found a long ladder to the second floor, and that's how they came into the building. And we count the cars that they are missing, and we found that there are none of them are missing.
9 cars are missing, and you mentioned that the window behind us is broken into. How did that happen? Do you have an idea?
They got a long ladder, and because they tried to open the security door downstairs to get to the keys, Since they couldn't open it, so they went on the second floor. They broke this window here, and they came down to the first floor. They got all the keys, and that's how they stole the car.
Mm-hmm. And I mean, you run a small business. How does this theft really impact your business?
Oh, definitely, there's a big impact. Small business cannot afford a big loss like this, and especially in this economy. And we're hoping that we can recover very quick, because that's not something easy.
And have you talked to your insurance company about what they can do, what you can do?
Yeah, absolutely. We got the police here involved. We got the insurance. Our insurance is working on the claim, and hopefully they will cover it.
And what is your message tonight to the thieves who took your cars and who really impacted your business?
Well, my message to them is that you cannot keep doing this. This is something that it hurts families, not only one person. There's a lot of families who lives from this business. Also, it's not something that you're gonna get away from it. You're gonna pay the price sooner or later. So it's not something that you can steal cars like this and get away from it. So I would recommend you not to stop doing this, stop hurting people like this, and hopefully we can have no more problems.
Thank you, John, for talking with us about what's happening here at your car dealership. Now, he also says that county police are investigating this matter. Katera Jones, CTV News.
Harb says since the break-ins in his business, they no longer keep car keys in the dealership overnight. When Governor Moore unveiled his budget plan yesterday, one of his goals was to make the state safer for residents. Included in his plan is an increase of $5 million in funding for local law enforcement, as well as an additional $10 million to fund a new center to prevent gun violence. Moore is also proposing funds to engage some of the state's most at-risk youth.
I believe in accountability, and I believe in consequences for people that break the law. But if we put children into a system that makes them more likely to commit crime, we're doing it wrong. That's why our budget provides an increase of $16 million to programs at the Department of Juvenile Services, and it's going to help to ensure that we can stop the cycle of crime in our communities.
Thrive Academy is budgeted with a $4.4 million increase to the DJS budget to expand rehabilitation services for the most at-risk youth, going from 190 youth participants this year to 300 participants statewide in fiscal 25.
The governor's budget also includes supporting crime victims with $35 million in state funds. You're watching CTV News. I'm Taylor Thomas. As you're prepping for the frosty weather, make sure the furry members of your family are safe too. Up next, hear how you can keep your pets safe in the snow. Back in a moment.
Diversity is in our nature. It is in nature too. Biodiversity. It connects us and sustains us. But nature's biodiversity is at risk more than ever before, and the future of all life is in our hands. So what will you do? Love it or lose it?
Welcome back. Well, when temps drop below freezing, it only takes a half an hour outdoors for your pet to get frostbite, even if it's used to cold weather. Animal rights advocates are offering tips to keep pets safe during the winter months. Keep them indoors when temperatures drop below 20 degrees. And remember, when the temperature dips below 32, it's illegal to keep your pets outdoor longer than 30 minutes. Dogs and cats' paws, ears, and tails are the most common areas to develop frostbite, and the risk increases when those areas are wet. Keep walks and potty breaks short and use plastic water bowls for outdoors so a pet's tongue doesn't get sucked to a frozen metal bowl.
one thing you want to think about is your dog's coat. If your dog has a shorter coat, it might be more comfortable. You can get a sweater or a coat on it. Plus, it just looks super cute. And so it's a good thing, especially the shorter coat pups. You also, if you're walking your dogs and they're, like kind of picking their feet up or whining or stopping, it's probably because their feet are cold and you want to get them back in the house as quickly as you can. And also, think about the age of your pet. If they're arthritic or smaller on the smaller side, they might become stiff or tender more quickly. So again, you want to get them kind of in and out as quickly as possible because it'll be harder for them to walk on the snow, and it can be much more rough on their joints.
Be sure to use pet-friendly ice melting products and avoid using antifreeze, which is toxic for pets. Wipe your pet's paws off with a warm towel when they come inside. Don't let dogs off the leash during a snowstorm, not even to play in the snow. They can easily become lost. And finally, check under cars and bang on the hood before starting the engine. Warm engines are a favorite spot for cats to take up temporary housing. Prince George's County Executive Angela Alsobrooks is outraising all of her opponents for the Maryland Senate seat, heading into the election year with more than $3 million cash from campaign donors. Alsobrooks ended 2023 raising more than $5 million, breaking the record for campaign fundraising outside of an election year in Maryland. Alsobrooks has been endorsed by Governor Wes Moore, Senator Chris Van Hollen, and Congressman Glenn Ivey, and others. Well, we have CTV sports reporter Simon Buggs in the studio with me. Now, Simon, I heard the Terps were in action yesterday, my team.
They sure were, Taylor. What's up, sports fans? And coming up on your Thursday sports page, a recap of the UMD men and women's basketball games that were played last night. Stay tuned.
The drug scene in Maryland is changing. Fentanyl and xylazine are being added to street drugs, and you may not even know it. Xylazine is not even intended for humans, and fentanyl is an opioid 50 times stronger than heroin and contributed to over 80% of overdose deaths in our state. Anyone who uses drugs, even occasionally, is at risk of overdose. To learn more, visit stopoverdose.maryland.gov or call or text 988.
Okay, everybody, it's time for your Thursday sports page. The UMD men's basketball squad took to court last night to try and get their 12th win of the season against Northwestern. Beginning with the first half, the game will start off close as both the Terps and Wildcats traded baskets with one another. But as the first half went on, the Wildcats were able to capitalize on some turnovers and build a small lead. And because of this, Northwestern was able to go into halftime up 32-28. Switching to the second half, the game remained a close one as both teams continued to trade baskets. But fast forward to later in the half, the Terps got their first lead of the second half because of this three-pointer hit by guard Jameer Young, who had 36 points. But Maryland's lead would be short-lived as they fell to the Wildcats 72-69. The Terps will match up next against Michigan State on Sunday. Meanwhile, over in College Park, the women's basketball squad took the court versus Ohio State. The Lady Terps started the game off well, being able to jump out to a 39-37 lead at the half. But in the third quarter, the Lady Terps had a hard time stopping the Lady Buckeyes shot making, and they found themselves down 56-55 heading into the final quarter. In the final quarter, the Lady Buckeyes' hot shooting continued as they put up 28 points. And because of this, Maryland lost their third game out of their last 5, 84-76. Their next opponent will be Illinois on Saturday.
That wraps up our CTV News Update. I'm Taylor Thomas.
And I'm Simon Buggs.
Join us again tomorrow at 4:30.
Good night.
Every year, more than 4 million pets enter shelters here in the United States. My friends at American Humane have been helping animals since 1877. The goal is to ensure that pets have a safe shelter during times of need. especially during natural disasters. Adopting a shelter pet allows shelters to help more animals awaiting care. Please consider adopting today and take some time to learn more about American Humane's other work at americanhumane.org.